Up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. They know that we're calling it love. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey.
Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for digital flowers from a single tiny seed. Yeah, power to the collective in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice and control.
What is going on, Hive? I hope everybody's having a great day. Make sure this audio is coming in. As always on Monday nights, I got Devil's Advocates backstage. Always a pleasure to have him here in the Hive with us. And I know a lot of you all feel the same way. I am excited for this stream for a couple of reasons. One, we're going to be trying something new for the first time tonight. So you guys are going to have to bear with me when it comes to attempting to do something in the chat. So I just want to preface that and lay that out there right away. That I could F it up. And I'm sorry in advance if I do. But nonetheless, we got a great stream lined up for you this evening. And if this is your first time tuning into the Hive Mind Find, oh, geez, I said Hive Mind Finds. Whoops. This is your first time tuning into the Hive Mind, rather. This is a contrarian thinking live stream where we are not afraid to think past the headlines. So if you are easily rattled or offended on behalf of others, this is not going to be the stream for you. However, if you like to critically think, maybe you're known as the contrarian thinking conspiracy theorist in your friend group, then you have found your people and welcome. Somebody in my comments had said I should just put that as my banner. And since I've read that, I had every intention of doing that prior to the stream, but I forgot to. So that's what I'm going to do. And now, rather than saying that in the beginning of every stream, it'll just be running across the bottom of it. Anyways, Jody, how are you doing this evening? Excited to catch it live with Mom tonight. Jody and Mom tuning in from North Carolina. Shells, I don't know. UFO Dog, what up, what up? That's right, Karen. We will work it out together. Power to the collective. Butter Lily GNM. Butter Lilliam. Back from vacation, doing laundry, enjoying the show. Nice. Nice. What up, UK Karen? Shout out to both of our mods, Robin. A gentleman and a scholar. My father was a Harvard man, Brandon. What up, Amanda B from West Virginia? Gabby Girl. Brooke, LFG is right. Discord Dawn, howdy. Shout out to my mod. Donna Speaks Truth is tuning in. What's Gucci, my Louie? Ryan, good to see you. Chrissy. Shoe Girl, what up, what up, what up? Look Like Trouble's tuning in from Georgia. The Cheesy Koala tuning in from, is that Britain? Or does that usually say the UK? Anyways, I love the username, and thank you for being here. Where's everybody else tuning in from? I haven't done that in a while. Let's see. We got El Carrera in LA. Brandon, are you really in Brazil right now? Or have you always been from Brazil? UFO Dog. Berdino's basement as usual. Love the new profile picture. What's up, Mel's Bells? Brisbane, Australia, St. Louis, Maryland, Texas, the RV. Hi from Texas. What up, April Rain Showers? Flow Rider. Ohio, Southwest Louisiana, UK, Texas, Portland, Northeast Texas. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for tuning in. What up, what up? Violet tuning in from Cali, Bama, War Eagle, New York, Idaho, South Carolina, Southwest Florida, Maine, New Mexico, Northwest Territory, Michigan. You're buffering, but spiritually present. That is an all-time answer for where you're tuning in from. California, Oklahoma, South Wales, down in the swamp of Louisiana in the bayou. Emily, it's your first time in the hive. Well, welcome from Ontario, Canada. Thank you for tuning in. Louisiana, Iowa, North Texas. Hi from the forgotten small wonder of Delaware. Does Delaware feel like a forgotten state if you live there? Maybe I'm used to it because I've told people that I used to live in Milwaukee and they're like, where is Milwaukee? And it just crushes my heart how nobody knows that. Does everybody in here know that if I said I used to live in Milwaukee, they would know what state it is? I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence. I'm curious. Scotland, upstate New York, Albuquerque. Grammy T, good to see you. Worldwide. Prestige, worldwide. There's a couple no's. Burberger, USA. All right, good. A lot of people know. Good. I'm not surprised. I mean, this is a smart group of people. I'd be concerned if we've had the conversations that we've had and people don't know where Milwaukee is. Now, for anybody that's watching, I don't live in Milwaukee, by the way. I just have the skateboards from when I used to. So any crazy people out there. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring up DA. DA, what's up, brother?
What's going on?
How you doing? You got your lipstick on?
I do. Yeah, I'm drinking red fluid again. Like someone is like, hey, I can't wait to see the lipstick. And I'm like, damn it, I'm still drinking freaking fruit punch before going on with Birdie.
And then everyone's just like, 3 words, the tig old biddies. That's 4. Oh, DA. I was like, that's almost 4 words because I said duh tig old biddies.
The tig old biddies. And now I've got blush on, and including my my lipstick. Fantastic.
Are you a blusher when like
I am a blusher. To be fair, like people when they throw like too dirty of an innuendo in front of me, like I instantly like turn beet red. Like, which is funny because I'm horribly dirty minded. So I'm surprised that people can still surprise me with stuff that makes me blush, but for some reason they do.
I'm sure the Hive could give you a run for your money. Like I told you, the most inappropriate, or what was like the nickname you had, and the last one that I finished with was Mouth of the South. I lost it.
Oh my God, dude. Right.
I was literally like, see, but then
my
wife's like, it's probably just like a dirty mouth. And then I'm just like, see, I'm going to stop you right there because you could that's just hilarious. But, oh my nonetheless, God. DA, how you been, dude?
I've been good. I've had a monster week on my channel. So that's been weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been good. I've been excited, although that comes with performance anxiety. I guess the bigger you are, the more performance anxiety you have. So anyways, I'm gonna let that go, sir. Don't you freaking jump on it. I'm gonna let that go. How do porn stars do it?
Oh my God.
Okay, so this should be Friday night show because I'm in a Friday night mode already. Apparently,
you're in Friday night mode.
I'll tone it down.
That's funny. I gotta fix this hat adjustment on the back of my thing. It's like folded in. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. Well, so anyways, you have had a monster week on your channel. If you guys haven't checked it out, DA had a video go viral. You're at what, like 130 views, 130,000?
Yeah, 117 is last I saw, but I think it's more than that now. So yeah.
And it was the missing bullet.
Yeah, it was called like Patsy Cover Up as the thumbnail. It wasn't even all that particularly important of a thumbnail, but I was talking about the potential side shot at the time, which of course, I think part of the reason was when everybody busts your nuts about how this has already been debunked, then they get fighting with each other in the comments, and that fighting with each other leads to virility. So I guess I got viral because everybody got pissed off about it, and that helps out a little bit.
Yeah. And there's actually a Discord question of the day that I chose. I kind of told you about it backstage just so you could start kind of thinking through, which I think that'll kind of be a segue from what you just said. But real quick, so that we can get into it, I want to go ahead, and this is kind of the theme that I'm going with this evening, which is fresh eyes see all. Now, back when I was really looking into what's up?
I said my green screen is just making me go all glitchy. But anyways, sorry.
No worries. I was just gonna say, what was I gonna say? No. Okay.
You're looking at things with fresh eyes.
Yeah, fresh eyes see all. And I remember when I was looking into the Brian Laundrie and the Gabby Petito case a ton, people were saying, well, why don't you just leave it to the detectives? Like, you think you're smarter than a detective? And I'm like, no, I hope you understand. My thought process when I'm thinking like this is not, I'm going to show those dumbass detectives. They don't know how to do any type of police work. I may have said that in the scope of the Idaho 4 with just things that don't make sense from a protocol standpoint that I feel like a normal person probably knows. And then they see that doesn't happen. But I'm not saying that I'm smarter than anybody. It's just rather you see something for the first time and you've never seen it. It's fresh eyes. You see it differently. And I've said before that I think Netflix works with the FBI. They seem to time up every big true crime documentary right when it's on the finish line of getting a conviction or proving something past with exclusive interviews, new people, and it's always past the court trials, obviously. But
and to be that's 100% correct. And in addition, you'll notice every time someone's up that's already been convicted and they're up for their appeal, or not appeal, but to see if they can be released early, out will come the documentaries reminding you of why they're in prison so that the public will say, oh my gosh, don't let that person out. And it happens every single time when you're about to have somebody like the Menendez brothers about to be talking about whether or not they should be let out, up come the documentaries to remind you what a piece of shit they are so that we need to keep them in prison. So yeah, it's crazy. And they do time those things. They do. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I was convinced with the Brian Laundrie thing that, and why I had said I think Netflix works with the FBI or law enforcement or something. Probably a lot of streaming platforms could, but it's you now go from a group of detectives or a team of detectives where you know, even though Idaho had 50 collective officers, whatever it is, how many people are really daily diving into it? I don't know.
Yeah.
7, 8,
Yeah.
9, like a conference room table full.
Yeah.
So but now you got millions.
I get upset too, because what do you shit, now you're stepping on my nerves. So what I get mad about is the people who act like, oh, so I'm supposed to shut up until they tell you what happened in the case. Is that what you're saying? Let's just wait until they tell you what happened in the case. If we don't actually fight for some transparency and the truth while the case is going on, while it's fresh, then sitting around and waiting for them to tell you what happened in the case, I'm sorry, but I'm not a sheeple. I'm not going to just sit around and wait for them to tell you what happened in the case. That's not the way I work. So, and you probably shouldn't watch my show if you want to be that kind of person who just says, we'll just wait until the trial's over and they'll tell us what happened.
Right.
So.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, Karen, that's a great point too. For all we know, they do give a script. The FBI is involved in everything. Their scope of what they do is wild when you really look into roles that an FBI agent or a detective can do. And now you go from those 7, 8, 9, 10 detectives' eyes on it to tens of millions of people's eyes. And who knows, maybe you're looking, that's strategic. I don't think it's dumb. And I've never once heard a detective that is genuinely looking for information. I've never once heard a detective say, please do not send in anything that you might have picked up on that we haven't.
By the way, I want to hit this because it's big for my channel and my thing. One of the reasons why we have the presumption of innocence until proven guilty, and why court systems are supposed to be tipped in favor of the defense, is because of what you're saying right here, which is that oftentimes law enforcement has a crap ton of people working on it. They have feds up the ass working on it, and they have law enforcement from multiple jurisdictions working on it, and detectives and they got a whole team all paid for by the state, and the little guy can't defend himself against that behemoth of a system. And so it's designed to make it hard for the prosecution to win those cases because of that very thing. The deck is stacked against us when we're accused of something. And so often, and God forbid, you have a freaking public defender in this country. Hopefully you have a public defender who's on the cusp of about going to go private, because they're good and they're not going to be a public, because unfortunately the really, really good attorneys end up going out and going to private practice for a reason, because the public defenders don't make dick. And so when you prove that you're actually good, you go into private practice. So anyways, we have a stacked system, and that's why the system is leaning on basically making it hard for the prosecution in theory to prove their case. Although we're bending a lot of rules to make it so that the prosecution has the upper hand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Emily, thank you so much for the super stickers. I appreciate that. And this is where, for the Hive, I'm going to ask you all for some help after this. So, Hive, today, the first official Daily Sting went live. Oddly enough, it was supposed to be up at 8:30 Central. I realized 2 hours later when I checked to see like some comments, 0 views. Why? That's weird. Well, it's set to private. So those will go live. They're pre-recorded at 8:30 in the morning every day. That is 3 stories in 20 minutes. It's zero bullshit. And what I do is I pick current event topics. I talk about the headline. I dive into the main points of it, and then I give my take on it. And it's something that I enjoy doing. It's how I would naturally read the news as I'm scrolling, or as I'm, diving into whatever websites that I check for the news in the morning. Now, what I'm going to do is post those in the morning instead of the quick cuts. So I used to take the live streams and I chop them down into 30 minutes. That would take me hours. Now, I'm going to do the Daily Sting instead. It's fresh. It's new. It's staying up to date. It allows me to also keep my head on a swivel for if a big case is going to break or something crazy is going to happen. I can see that. And then, as always, the streams, those are never going to go away. Those are my passion. That's why I started doing all this, is for the live streams. So those will stay at 7 p.m. Central on weeknights as well. And if you have not subscribed, please do. That is the best way to support the stream, outside of the super chats that you all feel inclined to send my way, which I really, really appreciate. I'm never going to charge you for a live stream when it comes to the Hive. Now, this is where I need your guys' help. So with that Daily Sting, I'm going to have 2 picks, And then I think it'd be fun if the Hive each night we got to do this, or a couple times a week. We'll see how this goes. And what I wanted to do is put the request out there for you guys to start putting into the chat any current events that you'd like me to include in it. And I'm going to put a poll up that will run until the end of the stream that you guys can vote on. It'll be at the top of your chat. You press it, and then the winner will be what I put in as the Hive's pick. So with that
Brilliant.
being what's that?
That's brilliant, man. It's brilliant. I love it. It's brilliant. I love that idea. I love that you let people pick on what's going to be, and then that's super cool. Right? Great idea. I think it's fantastic.
I appreciate that, dude. And so while you're plugging your channel, DA, if you guys want to start, I could start keeping my eye on the chat, and I will.
Sure. So I'll plug my channel because a lot of people may have I mean, I had a crap ton. I think I gained something like almost 3,000 followers or subscribers in the last week. And so a lot of people may be seeing me first time on a live and going, so what exactly did I just subscribe to? So let me make sure you understand. My channel focuses on high profile cases. I use those cases to break down legal documents, police documents, stuff like that, looking at a critical eye on mainstream media, which tend to convict people in the court of public opinion before they even step into the courtroom. I believe in the presumption of innocence until proven guilty in a court of law. I believe in open and transparent court systems. And so I put pressure on those things. I fight for constitutional issues. Even when the bad guy maybe really did it, I still believe that we should play by the law and convict them correctly and not break the law or violate someone's civil liberties in order to put the bad guy away. So that's what I'm about, in case you're wondering. And when I go on Birdie, it confuses the hell out of people because Birdie pulls out my freaking conspiracy side and he's like, but what about the aliens though? And I'm like, shit, Birdie, like I'm not even about aliens, but I do things a little differently when I'm with Birdie, and it's all good. So there you have it.
And I appreciate that, though, because what I do think is cool about our relationship that we have is I have enough rope to go out there and hang myself, and you're able. It's, you know what analogy I'll use? This is our relationship. It's like when you go to a work conference, like a big company-wide meeting, there is nothing that you can do there to get promoted, but there's so much shit you can do to get fired. That's how I kind of feel like our relationship. It's like you're making sure when we
that's a decent analogy. Yeah.
You know, and
yeah.
So you could probably let me out.
It's a great symbiosis. I know sometimes you'll be like, DA, how come you didn't go a little further? And I'm like, Birdie, why the hell do you go so far? Let's rein that shit in and find a happy middle somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat right now. We got David, the D4 VD case. There was August Borden from Alabama. Someone said Project Looking Glass. Any other current events that you guys would want me to throw in there? And if it's not, something that we'd regularly do, that's fine. I just wanted to, while it's new, to kind of help also promote the morning shows. That's why I wanted to include that. So I'd like for it to work. I think it'd be really fun, but obviously I'm not gonna force anything if there's really not anything going on. So someone keeps saying Starbucks. Some of this stuff.
Starbucks is a news story.
Or a case.
Be.
Oh, the new Moscow, Idaho.
Beating of a young dude that was an Uber driver. Yeah, that was a big deal. Did we talk about that or not?
No.
Oh God, dude, it's horrible. Just recently, just to be brief, a person was a kid was delivering. Well, I don't know if he's a kid, 20 maybe. I don't know. He delivered food just recently to a frat house in Moscow, Idaho, and got beaten to hell and put into a coma. He was apparently on Discord talking to people when it happened, so they have the audio, whatever. Apparently, Moscow PD hadn't filed any charges. They're just saying it was a fight that got out of hand, but it was like a bunch of people jumped him. He's in a coma, and basically people asking, I think, what the hell's going on in Moscow, Idaho? That the frats beat the hell out of this guy, gang beat him and curb stomped him and put him into the hospital. That's as someone would say, that's not a beat down, that's attempted murder. Like, it was bad.
Wow, I mean, I've seen that. I've seen the pictures that were going around of that dude. It's tough to look at. So, all right, Hive, I got 4 choices. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start that poll. I'm going to run that until the end of the stream. Hopefully that shows up. Do you guys see it on your end?
I don't. Do I see anything on my end?
Well, some people do, but
Okay.
if you press goal, maybe. No.
Goal. Sorry.
So, okay. Is that working, everybody? Okay, cool. Perfect. Sweet. Okay, so that wasn't that bad. But I'm wondering if there's a more efficient way to do that. But like I said, if it works out, if not, I can promise you it is not hard for me to find 3 interesting stories. I put out a TikTok about this one today, DA, which I don't know if you're ever a skateboarder.
I did skateboard a little bit, but I was never a skateboarder. But I did have a skateboard, and I did skin my knees a bunch, and I did have some injuries. So yeah.
So I grew up playing football and baseball and basketball, like the classic, youth sports, right? And I also snowboarded and skateboarded a lot. And none of my like sports friends that I played basketball, football, baseball with did. But I came out with no knee injuries. I had one ankle injury, but it was like an impact one because that 340-pound lineman landed on me. Other than that, I credit that all to snowboarding, where like your feet are locked into the bindings and all that stuff. But I bring up skateboarding real quick because this is interesting. Tony Hawk.
I've got a skateboarding story too, by the way.
Okay, I'll get through this quick. I want to hear that. Tony Hawk sold his skateboard that he landed his first ever 900, like the spin in the half pipe, the vert ramp. How much do you think he sold that board for?
Oh, I don't know.
Dude,
how much?
$1.15 million. I saw the article. I walked out to my wife and I go, see, if I had this much money, I would think that'd be the dopest thing ever to have on my wall back there. The fact that I don't, I'm thinking about it where I'm like, I better be able to stand on that damn skateboard and it has magic powers and I'm able to go do a 900. It's like,
right.
If you've ever seen that movie, Like Mike, with Lil Bow Wow, when he puts on the old like Jordan Nike shoes and then he becomes as good as Michael Jordan. That's what I feel like it should be like. But anyways, what's your skateboard story?
My skateboard story is horrendous. You do not want to be friends with a thinker because when I was a teen, we went skateboarding with a bunch of guys and we found a big hill to skateboard on. And a few of us wiped out and got horrendous road rash. And then later that night, as we're all hanging out at a buddy's house as teenagers, me and a buddy, while one of our buddies is asleep with road rash, said, I wonder if pain is psychological. And if pain is psychological, that you should be able to like put rubbing alcohol on somebody's road rash and they wouldn't even feel it because they're sleeping. They wouldn't know something happened. Oh my God, dude. I feel so horrendous. That guy came. Oh my God. It was the most brutal story ever. Yeah. We just totally like, hey, I bet you it's psychological. Like he probably wouldn't feel pain. What kind of moron thinks you don't feel pain if you're sleeping? But anyways, that was my story because I will never forget the blood curdling scream that came from my friend's mouth when we put rubbing alcohol on his road rash. Yeah. You do feel pain when you're sleeping, by the way. So just to let you know.
I was going to say, how old were you?
I was like 15, I think.
Dude.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
Now, DA, I just want to shoot the shit with you because I have so many stories coming to my mind now that were just crazy, stupid childhood stories.
No, along that lines, I went through the era. This is hilarious. This is going to date me. I went through the era of breakdancing. Do you remember breakdancing? It was a phenomenon in the United States, right? Of breakdancing, right? And so I would learn to do. He just walks away. I would learn to do the windmill, right? You'd lay on your back and you'd spin your hips and you'd get going in this weird last thing. And it would put a road rash on your hip if you did that long enough. I got myself a nice road rash from doing the windmill. We'll break. Hey, let's do a break off. We'll break off right on the floor. We'll get some cardboard out. We'll throw it down. We'll have a dance party. Yeah, I challenged people back in the day. It was embarrassing.
If you didn't have your green screen up, yeah, some people are saying prove it. I would have made you. Would have been like, this stream's over unless you do the
I did like the popping where you do this like kind of thing and you get the kind of robotic movements to your hands. I did that a lot. We got a synchronized thing with my buddy. We did the whole thing. It was wild.
I mean it's cool. Like it is weird to me just because I'm not into dancing that it was like an Olympic sport and didn't it also have like a giant cheating scandal in the breakdancing?
I can't even believe I live. I can't even believe I lived through that era and I just told that story on Electric Boogaloo. Like I can name things from the era. I wore the breakdance pants that were like the parachute pants, and I would do the freaking MC Hammer. This is all way beyond your time. It's hilarious. Like you don't even know these references. Anyways, it's hilarious.
You don't know, son.
You don't know, son. I was the shit. Electric. I'd give me a freaking broomstick and I would be like, I'll dance all over the place with that shit.
Now you're driving a minivan. Now you're driving a minivan with a sticker on the back that says, "I used to be cool." Like,
I was never cool. I was never cool.
Oh, dude. Well, I think you're pretty cool. And but dude, that's hilarious. When I was in high school for the playoffs, one of the things that all of the football players did at our school was we got mohawks when we made the playoffs. I don't know if kids did that back in your day. Maybe not, but
yes,
it was like
they did. They did. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah. We would like shave our own heads. And so mine was like pretty horrendously bad. And I had this idea to let my buddy. So we were the Chargers. Okay. And at the time, Wiz Khalifa was a really, like, I don't know if you know who Wiz Khalifa is. I'm sure you do, but that's kind of when he was like on his come up, and he had this album that was like, or he had a song. It was called TGOD. And I thought I was so cool because I let my friend take a razor blade and carve in the side of my head CPOD in my hair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I thought it looked sweet. I look back at pictures and I'm like, I was the biggest tool in the world for that. But it like caught on. There was a lot of people that tried to do it. And I felt bad for the dudes that they didn't have somebody who tried enough. And then they ended up just having a square that was bald in the side of their head. But
and I know people are gonna like, please get back. Oops, sorry. I got to get rid of this green screen. It's killing me. I know people are gonna say, please get back to the topic. I have to say, I was one of those people that pissed my mom off because back in my era, I'd buy a brand new $50 pair of jeans, and then I would scrape the hell out of it with a spoon to try to get it to wear thin, so I can get the threads to start poking out, so I could have that ripped up look of ripped up Levi's. My mom's like, oh my god, I just bought you a $50 pair of. Yeah, I would shred the shit out of those just so I could have the cool ripped up Levi's.
That's hilarious, dude. Well, I'm sure we will share more stories. I want to get to the Discord question today. This was from Kaylee, which, by the way, if you guys are not in the Discord or in general the other platforms that I'm on, which I'm pretty much on all of them, the next time you open up those apps, if you could just search Birdie, give me a follow or a like. Those are all newer profiles except for now. I mean, YouTube is still newer, but pretty much except for TikTok. And the Discord, you're going to want to join that because at the end of the stream, I have an exciting announcement that Discord Dawn and others from the Hive came up with, which I'm excited to announce. But Kaylee had said, how has your life changed in starting your TikTok and YouTube journey, focusing on the Idaho 4 case? I can imagine it takes up a lot of your time preparing for the lives, answering emails, speaking with other creators, etc. Have you had to sacrifice anything from your usual day-to-day jobs and activities? And what's interesting is the one thing I never accounted for when I started doing this, dude, I sit so much now. I used to be walking and moving all day. I mean, I was out, hustling, selling stuff, driving everywhere, walking around. And now, because I used to say, I'll never work from home because I can't. I'll go crazy. And now I sit in front of my computer or I'm on my phone, and it's very enjoyable. So it's different. Like I don't really notice it, but there's times where I like look up and I'm like, holy shit, dude, I don't think I've stood up in 3 hours.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I got this Aubrey for Valentine's Day got me this Whoop because I was like starting to get worried about it. I'm like, I got to start measuring this stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you?
I mean, just before I started this journey, I was working for a school district and I started doing TikTok
Sorry. Somebody thought that I had COPD, like COPD at the side of my
head. You got some kind of lung disease and you got carved into the side of your head.
Patty Brooks. Retired smoker. Actually, I can say that about myself now. Retired smoker.
That's hilarious.
5 years.
But yeah, I would when I was working, I would take so many breaks during because I would have a hot take. I'd be looking at news while I'm at work, and then I would be like, oh God, I got to do a hot take. So I'd go for a walk, which I thought was quick, and I'd go around the block and I'd record a TikTok video, and I'd come back. And right before I quit, my boss had a talk about my performance review for the year and said, you know, you take a lot of breaks and you're always out of the office doing shit, and you know, you need to stay in your chair. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I like being told anymore what I can and can't do with my time. Maybe it's time to retire.
So, I'd be like, yeah, I'm a grown man. Like, what is this? That's dude, that is one thing that I did not expect. Like, you know how in high school, the whole saying is like, how do they expect you to have to go and still ask your teacher to take a piss to leave the classroom, and then you're about to take out tens of thousands of dollars of student debt, right? And not really know the system, and they expect you could make that choice, but you can't just decide if you can leave class and go to the bathroom. And I did not expect that in corporate America, dude. I mean, seriously, it was weird. It was weird. I'm like, it's like high school for adults. Like, you're still asking your boss, and obviously, like, I still have a day job and I, you know, do my other thing. But with this, it's like, it is interesting how that's still such a dynamic. I can't stand it in general, just in general. I feel like it's really hard, not because I hate being told what to do. It's not that. It's on the things that are solely put in place for control and this hierarchy amongst common people.
Yeah.
So
how have you, by the way, like, you know, getting back to the Idaho 4 thing for a minute, what have you done differently this week where you said you're going back to the beginning? I hear a lot of people saying that Birdie's going back to the beginning on Idaho 4, and I wanted to kind of ask you about that.
So it was like Friday night I started talking about it, or Friday, I'm sorry, not Friday night. In the mornings I kind of do like coffee time, like 9, 10 a.m. And then Saturdays I go on whenever I can. And I had started talking about this on Friday because I'm thinking to myself, like, they're not showing us anything. Like, if anything that they're releasing now, there's really no need to go as deep and dive into it like you had to with grub truck footage or like the audio of Linda Lane. Like, the stuff they're putting out now is very straightforward. There doesn't seem to be anything sus about it, where I feel like with the other stuff, you'd watch, you'd be like, hold on, there's a lot going on here. Right.
Yeah.
You know, and so I had this moment of like, if I have to watch the grub truck footage again, my eyes are going to bleed. If I have to listen to the 911 call again, my ears will bleed. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Now, what else is interesting, and as I've had a few days to reflect on this, and the direction that I want to challenge everybody to think, is to forget everything we know. And if we were to just look at what they've released now with fresh eyes, hence the whole, you know, theme of tonight, because I think it takes time for quote alt theories to catch on and become mainstream. And it's interesting when you look at cases, not just the Idaho 4, but OJ, but I almost said Katy Perry. I meant JonBenet. You know, there's, you know, Delphi, all these cases where initially when it comes out, that's woo-woo, that's conspiracy, you're an idiot, what are you thinking about? And then it's like somebody will find something and it's like, oh, that makes sense. And you can start piecing it all together. I do not think that it's normal. And I think that it's completely by design to be releasing the evidence in a case that's closed in batches, and it still doesn't show you anything, and people's faces are still blurred out. And they're sealing their motions to unseal documents. And I just
don't understand that. I don't understand. Like, the case is over. Why are we still sealing documents? It's absolutely insane.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I think it's becoming very obvious what it is.
Yeah.
And I really do. Discord Dawn sent me a text from a comment that she saw on a Facebook group. Dude, I read it and I'm like, it clicked in my head. I don't want to say it without being able to provide the receipts, because to everybody in the hive too, the Discord is popping off with this first 48 who, what, where, when, and why with articles. I can't believe how many things people found and had archived, dude. I'm going
Yeah.
through these and I didn't even know which ones to pick. Like there was so much in the beginning, bro.
Yeah.
There was so much, and you want to know what? So what I'm doing and what I'll have ready for the stream tomorrow night for everybody is like it went from fear and uncertainty to in control and very certain in a relatively short time frame for how little they knew. I mean, dude, there's things about somebody had found an article about a shooting. There was a YouTube video that said that there was a mass shooting in Moscow, Idaho on the 15th of November was included in that. There was somebody talking about how this was a burglary gone wrong. Now, I'm piecing together a theory that it might answer why there's no blood in the house and why they have the black boxes in the rooms that I haven't heard anybody say. And it would make sense for the cops' reactions.
Yeah.
And it would make sense why they wouldn't want to show us it.
All right.
And when they say there was a cleanup, I believe cleanup is not alluding to cleaning up the blood.
Okay.
So that I'm going somewhere with it. I don't want to prematurely put it out there, not because I'm worried about, I don't care. I'll say it, whatever. I'm still working on it in my head as to how this would progress. Cause I think there's a bridge there.
Yeah. I might know where you're going, but
well,
I'll
take a
leave
guess.
that to
Let's
you.
see. Let's
Well,
see.
if you were saying like a cleanup that's not necessarily related to blood, I'm saying like, were they covering up something? And so they were cleaning up the people who knew something. And so it was kind of like more of a wipeout and clean up, eliminate the people who know things kind of thing. But I don't know if but then again, that doesn't go to the whole blood missing part. Yeah. You're right. That would still be blood. So I was wrong. So like I said, I was just like, I wonder where he's going with that. But you're right. That would still be blood. So yeah.
I mean, dude, you know that video of that girl on the train that everybody saw?
Yeah.
That dude had a cut on his hand. Did you see how much blood was dripping all over that train?
Yeah.
I've had a bloody nose, and compared to those crime scene photos, it would have looked like an entire town got taken out with how much blood my nose had compared to what's in that house. You know what I'm saying? Like I get really bad bloody noses. I had to get my nose cauterized, and dude, it was like a lot of blood just coming from a nostril. Now, okay, so Hive, when I say cleanup, I'm curious if anybody else knows. And DA, I guess maybe just kind of think.
I think somebody got it right. I think somebody got it right in there. They were talking about maybe cleaning up drugs or something like that, or right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, it's like, dude, I only wanted to do this if people could all hang in there with me when I say we are forgetting everything we know. I do not want to go down. I mean, I've gone deep, as a lot of people have, on WITSEC, on rituals, on gang, cartel, right? Like I'm aware of all of that. I just want that to be reiterated. Like I know I'm trying to think way out of the box because I still don't think that any of those theories, DA, while they do line up, they don't answer everything else with national security, with dude, because you start to wonder, why did you never see the victims' bodies leaving the house? And people said, well, they covered it with a tarp. And I said, that's why they have body bags, so that you zip them up and people don't see it.
Right. Right.
You wouldn't need the tarp. And you want to know what somebody in the Hive said? Because there wouldn't have been 4 bodies that came out. If there was, people would have been able to. Okay. So can we all agree that's relatively logical thinking if we are on first 48 hours and you know what I mean?
And to carry this to spitballing on the fly, if you wanted to cover up other things being brought out of the house that weren't bodies, like boxes of stuff or a material of stuff like that, you want to take other stuff out, but you don't want people asking what the hell was that they were taking out of the house. So you just cover it up with the tarp, and nobody gets to see what's being taken out of the house.
So
which also would lead to why the marshals were there and all these different things. And
exactly. So I'm going to go back to this question here. Not necessarily how has my life changed. It is weird. I will say it's a little bit weird. Like how when I started doing this, I just like I am still obviously doing this for fun. It is very fun. But it's not my full-time thing or anything. But it is interesting how this went from like just like a little hobby that I did and like my wife knew about it to now people have kind of just either seen me pop up on their FYP over on TikTok or whatever it is. And now a lot of people that are my buddies, you know what I mean, will bring it up. Not that I'm not embarrassed of it. It's just like kind of like one of those things. But do you know what's interesting, DA, about this whole progression since the Idaho 4? I've really challenged myself to, when I have this theory, to try and figure it out, to research how would that theory be proven out. As you've seen, I mean, somebody had called me like the slideshow king back in the day because I would make these presentations.
Right.
And I would show them.
Yeah.
I still do that, obviously.
You still do a lot of slideshows, and it's great. I mean, that's probably something I need to do. You're great at slides.
Thank you. But do you know what I personally feel that I'm good at and that I did a lot in the beginning of in the TikTok days? When I had that idea that I was just kind of saying, I want to think through this, I would just put my phone in front of my face and literally do it in one take and just post a 60-second clip of whatever it is and just get it out there. And now I feel like I'm trying to be more thorough just because the content is longer form on YouTube. But I don't know. I would say that. But someone said DA is folding into LX or something.
It's my green screen, right? They're irritated at that, and I can't remove it in the middle of the stream. I thought I could fix it right now.
Yeah, you should be able to. Don't click your settings.
I've been looking for them. Hold on, maybe I just need to go big enough.
Click your settings at the bottom by the leave the studio.
Yeah.
And then go to go to visual effects, and then you should be able to take it.
I got it. You're right.
I got you. Look at.
Yay! No more disappearing into my own asshole. Perfect. All right.
So okay.
Oh, you know, now I need to put my lights on behind me. Never mind. Go for it. I don't want to distract this too much. Yeah.
Go for it.
Go. You talk.
So. Oh yeah, and I just saw somebody say this. Tommy Jude's coming on the stream Wednesday, everybody. He'll be in the Hive on Wednesday night. So with us going back to the first 48 and really giving this kind of one last chance to think of something completely different that nobody else has said. I've said this before. Tommy was the first channel that I was ever on when I came over to YouTube. And I've been over there like 2 times, I think. And he's never been over in the Hive. So I was texting him and we were able to get Wednesday to work out. He was actually supposed to come on when I got put in YouTube jail. So we had to reschedule. So I'm excited for Tommy. He's a great guy, super nice. And I think with kind of the whole topic of going back to the beginning, he'll be a good insight.
I've had a weird moment with Tommy in the sense that somebody said, "Hey, cool, Tommy wants to get you on the show," and they sent me a link to a thing, and I watched him say, "Yeah, I got to get Devil's Advocates on my show." So I reached out to him. It's been crickets ever since. Never heard a word. I'm like, "Dude, I'd love to come on your show." Crickets. He's like, "I need to get Devil's Advocates on my show."
Dude, so. I mean, yeah, that would have been fun to have him up here tonight too.
Yeah. Sorry,
but anyways,
my phone. Everything's going. We're going off the rails. Tonight has been a really weird, unscripted show.
Well, I mean, to be honest, almost all of mine are unscripted outside of the format.
Yeah.
But dude, you're fine. You're fine. Just deep breath. Think about, go to your happy place of breakdancing on a cardboard box that's unfolded in the back of a 7-Eleven with your buddies, jamming out on the old
performance anxiety. No performance anxiety. Just do your thing. Yeah. All right.
I feel like you've given yourself that pep talk a couple of times.
Oosa. So, hey, look, and when I did this, my hands didn't disappear on my green screen. So this is a way better thing. Anyways,
I want to ask something of you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll give the disclaimer for you. Devil's Advocates, this is the only night that obviously he does his conspiracies, right? I'm serious. Like, I want you, because tomorrow night when I have time to get all that stuff from the Discord set up, like, I'm going to put out my theory, but I want everybody to go into the Discord that is in there, look back to the beginning, tell me if you guys are able to come up with anything that is piquing kind of your interest as a different angle. So DA, Is there
Yeah.
anything that has ever piqued your interest about the Idaho 4 that you've never said on your channel that you've thought, or maybe you've said it, but you've not really ever pieced it together? And I want you to think hard.
Yeah, that I've never said on my channel, but I've kind of entertained in the background about the case. Yeah, I know there's got to be. There's many times that I hold stuff and I don't say because I just don't feel like it's factually supported enough for me to jump out there.
You and I are so different in that way. Not that I don't like getting
Yeah.
factual. I like to think out loud where I'm like, you know, I don't know. Somebody could be like, maybe they did use robot dogs to kill him. I mean, they exist, right? Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Like, there's crazy shit that happens. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's how my brain works. So I'm curious if there's ever been anything.
I mean, it's not going to be what you're expecting, but I know that in the early stages, when the story came out that Kohberger had a former drug problem and this was a drug thing and it's all involving drugs or whatever, I didn't want to jump on that story. I didn't think it was right, but there was times when I started to think maybe they're right. Like maybe I missed something about it. So I've held that. And part of the reason why I held it actually was because Pavarotti had been jumping on the drug angle since day one. And I'm like, even if I decide to tell people that I'm seriously considering that more than they think, because I just wasn't telling people I'm really seriously considering it. At this point, I'm so far behind Pavarotti that if it is the drug angle, then good on him. He's already been on it since day one. There's no reason for me to talk about it. So I have pocketed my feelings about the families that were involved in drugs and how it could have been a retaliatory drug hit. Even though it's something I started to really take a lot more seriously, I didn't comment about it on my channel because I just felt I was too late to the party and somebody else already had a big jump on it. And if it was that, then let them be the one that covered it. You know, I'll stay on a different angle.
Well, and the other thing too, dude, is I don't understand how there isn't law enforcement involvement at this point. Like, how can people not wrap their heads around that? Clearly there is law enforcement involvement in this case, because there are way bigger mysteries that have been solved that would make sense with the timeline, with the evidence, with the redactions, again, than a single perpetrator going in with a fixed blade knife and stabbing people to death and getting away in a car that's on camera. It doesn't make any sense. This should not be a mystery. And I'm sorry, but I truly also believe that the algorithms, this is weird. This is so weird. I think the algorithms have completely separated guilters and pro-burgers, where now, like, dude, I don't see any people
in the
that
middle
are at all.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, I also feel like the only people that'll see, you know, maybe people questioning if Kohberger is innocent are people who also think that. And I think that people who think he's for sure guilty will do that unless somebody goes and brings your content onto their page. I don't think they're being shown it as much. It used to be such a
yeah. And it's and not to beat a dead horse, but it's super, super difficult for me at this point to defend against people saying, why are you even talking, DA? The guy admitted guilt. This is over. He admitted guilt. And how am I supposed to keep defending this situation? When there was a fight to go on and when there was going to be a court case, I could say all day long, we don't know the story. But as soon as he pled guilty, how am I supposed to sit there and defend against, dude, he said he did it. Shut the fuck up. That's what they want to tell you. He said he did it. Shut up. So I'm like, how long am I going to keep arguing against people? Like, they've got the upper hand. You're right. He admitted guilt. What am I going to do? I'm going to keep talking about it after he admitted guilt. It's like, see, again, I hope that somebody does file some kind of, like, you know, Innocence Project thing or whatever, but I just don't think it's coming. And if they do, I'll be all over it like ugly on ape. But until such time, what are you going to do?
I hope that you and I hope that people in the hive understand what I'm going to try to say here. I don't even consider this a normal case to where filings like that would be the route or the path that is taken. Nothing has gone the traditional route of a court case in any way, shape, or form. Not even how they set the courtroom up.
Yeah.
Not for safety. I showed everybody else people from the last 20 years that were all men that had brutal killings. None of them sat to the side. None of them had the sentencing, the like the victim impact statements like that did. And my question to everybody is, maybe that is why we are going down dead end roads and never coming to the conclusion, is because it's hard for people to accept or even wrap their head around that this is not what it looks like. So people go, and myself included, why are we, there's so much reasonable doubt the entire state of Idaho could drown in it.
And I'll go on a slight soapbox, not too long, but here's the thing. Even if Kohberger is guilty, that trial was a joke.
Right.
That courtroom was a joke. That entire prosecution was a joke. That man never had a fair shot at all, in my opinion. Even if he was guilty, we should have a transparent system. We shouldn't have all the hiding and the lying, and we shouldn't have the prosecution trying to lean on people to put false testimony on the stage, on the stand, and say they saw Kohberger there when she didn't fucking see Kohberger at the house. Anyways, Molly never saw Kohberger there. Anyways, the point being is that entire trial was a joke. The fact that the defense was never going to be allowed to bring alternative suspects because of the way the law works in Idaho and the judge's prejudice was a joke. So at the end of the day, yes, I have to shut up. You guys, those who are the guilters, you won, because I have to shut up, because I'm not going to fight with you all day long when he pled guilty. But I will say this, and I won't stop saying this: that trial was a joke. That entire thing, for 2.5 years to gag order that shit and keep it secret and hide everything, and then when you say you're going to tell us what happened, you still redact documents. Go screw yourself. That trial was a joke, and it still is a joke. Anyways,
it is a joke.
Sorry about it, rant.
I'm here for it, and I think that we've just kind of stumbled into a really good topic that can help people, including ourselves, reiterate how you feel when you're saying, like, it's a joke, it's this. Because whether you're emotional about Brian Kohberger, whether you want it to be Brian Kohberger, people don't understand what I mean when I tell them that. I'm like, can you look yourself in the mirror and say with 100% honesty that you're not lying to me when I ask you, do you want it to be Brian Kohberger? Does Brian Kohberger in the media represent something that in your everyday life you don't enjoy? Do you think he looks creepy? Do you think that he is mansplaining and he doesn't treat women right? Do you think that? Because that's what you were told about him. And is that why you want it to be him? Because it represents an idea that you already hate. And by him going and being convicted for this crime, you feel some sort of self-validation that, yep, the kind of people that we don't like, they look at them, they're guilty. Because I think there's people that can't even reconcile with coming to that truth. Right. And at the end of the day, that is not the justice system. And I'm not a justice system expert by any means, but I do know that Brian Kohberger, in this case, according to Ali Benevento, according to many other defense attorneys, are very curious as to the processes that were followed regarding his trial, right?
Yeah.
Or the proceedings.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, you just, again, people are tired of talking about it, really, I think, but, you know, Banfield still, when they went after the trial's over and he's pled guilty and they're coming out with new photos, and a photo looks, he looks weird. Look at this creepy photo. I just get the shivers when I see it. What a monster. And I'm like, you don't like the way the guy looks. And so you prejudice to say he must be guilty because he looks like a creep. And it's, again, like you said, how much of that is your own personal shit, your own baggage, because you think he doesn't look right. You think he doesn't act right. So therefore he must be guilty because he just looks like a killer. And we're literally now at the point where we're analyzing how he walks into Costco. Is that how a killer walks? Look at how he's walking. I was like, is that all we have left?
Not according
to
all
we have. Right. But yeah, I know he couldn't stab with 4 Capri Suns, much less 4 people. I get it. I loved that line, by the way. But yeah, I mean, we're literally at that point now, analyzing look at the way he walks. Now, is that a way a killer walks? I'm like, is that what we're left with? Is analyzing whether we think he looks like a killer, he walks like a killer, he talks like a killer, does he text like a killer? That's where we're left. It's like it's a shame.
You know, fine. Let's not assess if he walks like a killer or not. Let's assess, does he walk like he could pull off a timeline? Let's say, can Brian Kohberger, does he walk like a guy that could go submit 4 people?
Yeah.
Does he look?
Yeah, I mean,
no. Brian Kohberger is the last pick in gym class. He's the last pick on your flag football team. You're actually, I've said this before. I go, Brian Koberger is a kid that you put in the game as a high school football coach to go show his own parents why he doesn't play so that they don't yell at you and ask for him to get more playing time. And that's not trying to be mean. There is an aspect to Brian Koberger with the shirtless selfies, with the way that he walks, with his attitude and demeanor, whatever. It's not shitting on him as a person. It's talking about one's actual physical ability, not a single data point that would point to, I can go in there and I think I said like Frankenstein's awkward nephew is not going to shuffle in anywhere in a stealth manner and do that.
I said it from day one, and I've said it from day one. Day one, my first video on Idaho 4 was, what if Brian Koberger was just a getaway driver? I don't think he's the one that went into the house and did it. He may have gone into the house, but I don't think he was the one that did it. I think he had an accomplice or two, and I think they're the ones that did those things. So in a way, I fundamentally agree with you. I don't think Koberger was capable of what they're saying he did. But at the end of the day, shut the fuck up because he pled guilty. What are we going to do?
Bro, I'm telling you, I think Brian Koberger's a Fed. I think Brian Koberger's a Fed. I think why that specific tip from the FBI came into Brian Koberger, and that's why I said that they told them to treat it as a tip.
Yeah,
I really
it's a case that's going to bother me for many, many years. And I'm doing a Hail Mary pass every single week. I write letters to inmates in the cases that I follow. I write Brian Koberger every single week. I don't think Brian Koberger is the kind of guy that's ever going to write back. But at this point, my letters to him are literally pleading, dude, for the love of God, man, tell us something so we can put this to bed. And I realize maybe that gives you, if he is what they say he is, he loves the fact that he has power over that you want answers and he won't give it to you. That's exactly the kind of thing that monster would want, is knowing that it's bothering you and he will never give you the answers because that's what he wants, more power over you. But I'm at this point, I'm like, dude, please, for the love of God, tell us something so we can put this shit to bed. Just say you freaking did it and give us details so we can know for sure and put this shit to bed and rest at night. Now, maybe that's what he wants to hear and he loves that. I don't know, but I'm begging.
See, I feel like if I went in there and I could talk to Brian Koberger, I would be like to the guard, like, hey, why don't you cuff me to the table too? Because this guy has taken hours of time and it makes no sense. So until we get done with the question, just leave my hands cuffed right here with this because, dude. So here's where I'm going with just the oddities too. Brian Koberger's car doesn't have a bug shield on the front. Brian Koberger's car is a different year. Window tint, no window tint. There's things that are real that you can point to that are now released. There's no bug shield. So I'm like, okay, when did they identify Brian Koberger's car? Right? They got it.
I know when I think it was. Yeah.
Right? Another tip.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Who's to say that the reason his apartment is empty and looks like nobody lives there isn't because the feds went and found Brian Koberger, a guy who fit the entire psychology or maybe the behavioral analysis unit. Maybe Dr. Ramsland said when she saw the killings on the news, we have to give the public something to close this off if you really do not know, or if this was a sting gone bad, or if this was a drug hit, or if there was something, whatever it is, Brian Koberger can play that role. So then there's this perfect timeline of Brian Koberger applies for the Pullman Police Department as a criminology student. The FBI then just so happens to give a tip. And then after that, a white Elantra. You don't think they freaking knew that there was a white Elantra on cameras, guys? They could have rented that car. They could have rented that apartment. Brian Koberger did not live in that apartment. Didn't look like anybody lived there. His car was immaculate clean. It almost looked like it came from the dealership. That's how cleanly he was. Maybe it did come from the Hertz dealership and they did professionally clean it and detail it because it's a rental car.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, this case, man. This case.
I need more energy, DA. Come on, now I'm fired up. I need something where you're like, you're goddamn right, Birdie. He's a fan.
I know. It's all of those scenarios are freaking possible, and we'll never know. We'll never know. Like the only way the only way we're going to know is the typical government move, which is wait for 50 or 60 years after everybody's died that was around the case. And then they might come out and say, yeah, there's been some cases in our past 50, 60 years ago where we might have actually done a few things like lied to the public about things. That'll happen. And it'll be on Discovery TV and everybody will like, oh, that's cool. I'm glad we don't do that anymore. And it'll be the same that day. But anyways, well, I don't know if anybody follows that logic, but they always admit to things like 50 or 60 years down the road. And then you act like that was in the past. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah. No, I don't buy it. I don't buy it for 1 second, DA. I don't think that that's even that big of a stretch. I don't think that the feds, I don't think they'd even break a sweat pulling that off. I don't. You look at Othram, you look at the entire thing now with Stacey Chapin, you look at just there is so many oddities, and you start to ask yourself, why? Well, why is it so hard for people to wrap their head around the fact that if the feds and the people who did this, you're only going to catch them if they don't think or they don't know you're looking for them? For all they know, they could really think like, holy shit, they put it on that guy. Yeah. They put it on him. The entire public, they don't even know that we did it, nor will they ever even believe it. They've actually written us off. They've written the people that have thought it's been us off. They've said that those people are crazy. Like, they could do that.
Yeah. It's a nutbag story, man. You're like borderline on, popping off on a rant. Like you're going to give me a run for my money. You're going to steal my show. You're going to start ranting here, I think, in a second.
I'm good for I'm like good for a rant every now and again. I just get really passionate about critical thinking, bro. It just gets me to my core. Right? No, but I do get passionate about when people look at me like what I'm saying doesn't exist. Like, maybe it doesn't make sense to you. That's fine. But don't tell me that the powers that be in law enforcement don't have the capabilities to put trace DNA on the back of a knife sheath that we've never seen. Oh, by the way, we've never found the murder weapon either. Oh, by the way, we've never seen any bodies. Oh, by the way, we've never seen any crime scene photos. Oh, by the way, Brian Koberger didn't even exist before 2015, it seems like. Oh, by the way, Brian Koberger hasn't said a word. Oh, by the way, there's enough reasonable doubt for Brian Koberger to get out or at least appeal, but he doesn't. Oh, by the way, why isn't any defense attorney lining up to take this case? Oh, by the way, everything's still redacted. Oh, by the way, nobody's talking. This case is apparently solved. So, let's put 2 and 2 together here. There is no way that there is I don't even think there's some big grand scheme of a strategy. By the way, I think the real thing's done, DA. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I just about transitioned us by accident into Charlie Kirk, but I'll hold off on that.
Well, we can go there. I just wanted to say, to close that out, I don't think that it's a bad exercise for people to think through. Like, what if this entire case is already done and closed? And they're just sealing what if they're, instead of sealing what happened in this case, they could just be sealing it because it was covering up for another case of an ongoing investigation where they did get arrests in it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're sealing the motions before they unseal documents, because if you look at why that would be, there's classified references in those motions. But I apologize for ranting, but
no, you should never apologize for ranting.
You're right. I'm not sorry, DA. I'm not sorry.
Not sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. I want to take this time to apologize. Absolutely no one. All right. What were you going to say about Charlie Kirk?
What I was going to, now I'm hearing, and for some reason it came up with the Brian Koberger thing and what people said about him and stuff like that. But now I'm hearing, maybe it was Candace Owens was saying, by the way, the parents did not turn in Tyler Robinson, and Tyler Robinson never said he was guilty. All of that's lies. It's all mainstream media bullshit. His parents did not encourage him to go walk down to the police or with a friend and call it in. And I'm like, is that being said out there now that now some people are coming forward saying Tyler Robinson never admitted to this crime? And I'm like, fuck, here we go again. Like here we go again. We're going to have another situation where the media tells us what happened, and then people are coming out like he's never said that. And until I hear him say something with his mouth, I'm going to be like, well, I'm digging into the court documents. Is he saying he did it or not? Of course. Anyways, here, just fucking, I don't know what to believe anymore.
What about what we were talking about earlier? George Webb is down at the proceedings. That Dairy Queen was torn down. They gutted that Dairy Queen.
That can't be right. Did you vet this before you said it?
Yeah.
Did you vet?
First of all,
it can't be right. I mean, I trust you. I trust you, but come on, man. Like, it's so unbelievable. I'm like, you cannot convince me without me seeing it on screen that the Dairy Queen was torn down. Are you fucking kidding me?
I reposted it here.
Like I said, I believe you, but I just come on. We are losing. Something's weird.
Yeah, hang on.
What is the point? What is the point of tearing that Dairy Queen down?
Well, it's like, what's the point of tearing down the Idaho poorhouse?
What's the point of cementing over the area that Charlie Kirk was shot at immediately before students come back and putting cement down on top of it? What's the point of all of that shit?
Right? Watch this shit. Ready? It's a 2-minute clip.
Just heard Dairy Queen is closed now. Yes, I was there yesterday. It was serving Superman blizzards 3 days ago. Right now it's being torn down. Right.
Well, we're at 1545. Is that a Dairy Queen sign? Interestingly enough,
Top dog George.
Looks like it's been totally taken apart. Got cleaning mop buckets everywhere and so forth. And it's right across, by the way, from Brigham Young University, right across from the stadium. Right?
What the fuck is going on in this country?
My point is, there's the football stadium. There's cameras all over here. The FBI should be able to easily say what the path was for.
I have to be careful. I never looked up the address. I never looked up the address. So is George Webb, is he at the right place? I have to double check all these things, because if he's right, what the living hell is going on? And I would now have to look at receipts. Were they already scheduled to close that the A&W? Was that or Dairy Queen? Sorry, Dairy Queen. Were they already scheduled to close it?
They just so happened to have it scheduled to close right after this.
It just so happened. Well, and that's the case. Then I want to know what motherfucker put it in the order to close it, and when that happened, and who gave that order. Because now I'm going to chase the rabbit hole. Who ordered the Dairy Queen to be shut down on that date? If that happened, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and dude, he was in the courthouse.
So somebody said protesters tore up the Dairy Queen. Is that what they're saying?
Protesters?
Is that their narrative, or they had to shut it down because it didn't look torn up to me when I was looking at the outside of the building there? But
what protesters? I'm confused.
And protesters for what? Yeah, I'm confused. See, this is why I'm nervous about talking live on a show before I do my vetting, because I'm like, tell me that's not true. Tell me they didn't freaking shut down the Dairy Queen that he went and got a blizzard from after the shoot, or some before the shooting or whatever. Like tell me that didn't happen.
Well,
that was after the shooting, right? With this picture of him in the Dairy Queen.
This was today.
No, I mean the picture they have of Tyler Robinson
allegedly.
Yeah.
And it was right before the plane.
Watching himself on TV, right?
Yeah. The other thing too, George was in the courthouse today, and he saw the prosecution, and he was like doing this thing, like where he kind of follows it, where he's talking on the selfie, and she's like, what the man, dude? You got to give personally, George has always been very nice to me, and he's come on the stream, and he, for being kind of an older dude that's been doing this for so long, I mean, he gets out there and hooves it, dude. Like he is always boots on the ground, and I you got to respect that. I want to watch the rest of this though, because I got about here the first time that I watched it too, and I'm like, there's no way that they tore this Dairy Queen down. Yeah, 1545 was the address that he was at, and it's being gutted.
Or the Dodge Challenger. Should be flock cameras all along here.
And the recipe book for making, ice cream bars, dilly bars, and so forth is still in the parking lot. So they haven't picked up the trash yet from 3 days when they took the place down.
Oh, dude. Look at what Z said. And Jack in the Box. They just tear down restaurants that they use. Huh? Is that an FBI playbook thing?
I'm literally researching while we're talking. Hold on a second.
I don't think George would just go to a random Dairy Queen though and show this.
I don't usually do research on a live
dig.
Right, live dig.
There's an Idaho
thing for DA doing a live
trailer
dig
where they've shoved everything in as quickly as possible. They've just shoved it in, put the padlock on it. They're tearing it down as quickly as possible.
So that, I mean, that is interesting.
Well, yeah.
Here, I let me see.
All I've got so far with my just quick dig is I cannot find any credible sources that list the address of the Dairy Queen. All we know is that Newsweek reported it was in Orem, Idaho, 15 minutes off campus. So how did he get the address to know that that was the Dairy Queen that he was at? That's part of my question. Again, this is why, Birdie, why I really am careful to keep my mouth shut for a while. People ask me, why aren't you out there right immediately on this? Because I need to make sure, I need to double check. I need to get receipts. I need something that says this was the location at this, and here's where it is. And then, yeah, now I see it's torn down because I'm afraid of making a mistake where somebody just goes there, sees a Dairy Queen torn down and says, well, this must have been where it was at. And look, they tore it down. I don't know that George did that. I'm just saying that this is why I'm like so nervous about it. But
so I'm reading through the comments here on X, and people are saying that it's the wrong one, that they're open, and it's 813 in Orem, Utah, or Orem, which is where he said he's going to hang out. Now, the other thing though is it's not confirmed what site he was at, because you need to verify what location he was at before anything, because the flooring seems to be different. That's what people are saying. Now,
see,
is there another part of that to verify though, where it's like,
right?
I was just going to say though, is there a coincidence? Like what if Tyler Robinson was not at that Dairy Queen in Orem? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Those text messages were fake as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that photo just surfaced out of nowhere, and didn't it just so happen to get leaked to Candace? Now, if you were going to try to have something that discredits Candace on a, breaking a photo on her live stream when she's talking about all this, that would probably be one of 3 people you'd send it to, right? That would be investigating, that has a giant platform. Now, when did that Dairy Queen get torn up? Because this also says, so I don't know.
I'm starting to dig, but see, I hate because I don't know that George was wrong or right. What I'm saying is I fundamentally, when you tell me Dairy Queen that he visited was torn down afterwards, I lose my mind, but then I stop myself. When I lose my mind, I go, okay, stop. That's just a rumor. How do you know it's true? And so-and-so came up with a video on it. And again, I even say, stop. Let's double check that that's the right location. So that's why I'm so slow, I think, on a lot of stuff, because I just start to go like, hold on, stop. Before you repeat this and tell everybody that just happened, make sure you're correct.
So this is interesting. Do you want to know where the photo of Tyler Robinson came from? This is from leadstories.com. And this is actually what Grok had put under that video. And it said, Tyler Robinson, a Lead Stories representative, had visited the Orem location, amongst others, on September 19th, 2025, and confirmed, archived here, that it was possible the photo did show Robinson at the Orem store on the day of the shooting, based on the Superman poster in the background.
Right.
Now, where my head is going, if that Dairy Queen George was at is not that same one where the Superman poster is, who's to say that all Dairy Queens didn't have the Superman poster. Don't most franchises and chain stores
Use
run
the same
promotions?
merchandising? Yeah, right.
And they're laid out the exact same way. You go to a Walmart here versus where you live, all the clothes are in the same section.
Yeah.
So to your point, you said something really smart at the beginning. When was that Dairy Queen scheduled to be remodeled or gutted? Because
Right.
if it happened that next day or that day of, then you
Right.
start to question, well, it's not hard to
Right.
manipulate the flooring. I could do that on Canva in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And especially the fact that Candace broke it when she had all the eyes on her. Who's to say that wasn't loaded out to her, and who didn't maybe get to one of her trusted friends for.
So, dude, what you're hinting about saying, I don't even know if you were saying that, but here's the thing. The number one way to discredit somebody, if you are a Fed and you want to discredit a talking head who's really good and got an audience, what you do is you feed them a false piece of information and give them enough rope to hang themselves with, which is another reason why I'm careful. Because if you know people are listening to a YouTuber, and all you need to do is give them a hot scoop, because everybody wants the hot scoop. And if a person's not careful and doesn't vet that shit and then runs out there and runs their mouth and then gets proven wrong, you get discredited by everybody. And devil's advocate to the guy who just said on the live stream tonight that they tore down the Dairy Queen and that was complete bullshit. Here's the clip of him saying it, because I'll take the clip where I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. That'll be on somebody's YouTube thing saying, see, devil's advocate thinks this and he's a moron. It was proven that didn't happen, which is exactly why I'm careful.
Yeah. Well, what's also interesting is that the Dairy Queen that George is at, when I'm looking this up, is only 3.5 miles from UVU as well. So, I mean, what would that's like, what, a walk or like an hour?
Yeah.
Assuming the average person walks 4 miles an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
I mean, it's reasonable. And then,
yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to burst our bubble here, but I just,
no, you're not bursting it. I mean, it's good to like, dude, I don't like to just go and when I see something like that, if it's not the same place, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, it's in Orem, but it is weird that I'm wondering if George is just taking a different angle to it. Like, yeah, that is weird. Like there's a Dairy Queen that's now gutted and they said they saw him at it. And you look at what Z said about the Jack in the Box. They tore that down and that closed forever. They tore the house down. They tore the crime scene down. Like it kind of, you think about pattern recognition,
right?
Just stays at a different location.
Right. And I want to be clear for George Webb's sake, in case he's hearing this or gets wind of it. I am not suggesting at all that George Webb lied about the story to get YouTube hits. That's not what I'm saying. It is easy for someone to, one, either have made a mistake, and it's a simple mistake, or two, have been fed some bad information and you ran with it thinking you got some big piece of information and be discredited by somebody who wants to discredit you. So again, I'm not trying to indicate at all anyone who came up with that story is lying to you so that they can get hits. Sometimes people run with things because it's the talking point of the day.
Well, and in George Webb's fairness, that clip was not on his profile. Somebody clipped that and put it on theirs. So maybe, and that was a 2-minute clip. Who knows how long that stream was? But here's another thing. Dairy Queen released a statement that said, we are aware of the information. This was 9 days ago. We are aware of the information being spread regarding a suspect involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk visiting one of our stores. At this time, we are fully cooperating with law enforcement, but do not have further information or comments to release. We ask that you do not call or approach our staff with the intent to receive information, as it disrupts our business operations and we are unable to further comment. Thank you for your continued support. Were they put under a gag order?
Yeah.
Why would you be put under a gag order? Can't you just say like, yeah, he came in here and you ordered, a number 8 with a Oreo cheesecake McFlurry?
Right. And if they did, how many looky-loos would go take selfies of themselves standing in the place where Tyler Robinson was seen on camera getting the blizzard? I don't know. So,
okay. And just to be clear, somebody said, just so everyone knows, the guy in the video went to 2 locations. The closed one was shut down for months. The updated the commercial lease site on August 26th. He was going to the other locations purposefully. So he went to the 2 surrounding Dairy Queens as well.
And what are they suggesting?
I think that he was just saying, well, there's three Dairy Queens in this area. Like, how
Okay.
are we? I mean, if
Oh,
anything-
so he wasn't necessarily saying this is the Dairy Queen that
No,
that
no.
happened. He was like, hey, this Dairy Queen's been shut down.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? You want to talk like deep operation? Like, who's to say that they didn't have all these photos ready to go, and they did that shit before, and they took it at that location, and now they're gutting it and remodeling it so nobody could ever piece together little oddities on the internet, like we would try to do, and that's why they did it on August 26th, less than 2 weeks before, just long enough to not be suspicious.
Right.
Oh,
Be
your
careful
skin
out
is
there, children. be careful out there and don't run with stuff too early. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, it is funny. Like the other thing too is like when people are like, "Oh, George Webb's controlled opposition," and he's like, "Everybody thinks I'm a government agent." Like he said that, and I'm like, to a certain degree, that also, I'm like, where does that stuff come from? Because I've had people that didn't know that I was over on TikTok. They're like, when he came over to YouTube, like, what is this? What's happening? Like, what's this? And it's like, if you just don't know if somebody either exists before coming to a platform, or it's like, I've had people say, like, he's doing this as a part of being a group, or he's a part of some group with this person and that person. I'm trying to be very broad because I don't want to rile anybody up right now.
Yeah.
But obviously that's not the case. I can promise you, if you guys saw my day-to-day life, you would be rather unimpressed with how much of a group of social media people I'm in contact with. I talk to devil's advocates. We've become quite good buddies, actually. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's a genuine friendship between the two of us that has developed over just being a couple of YouTubers that liked each other's style. So
yeah. Now, here is the exciting announcement for the Hive and DA real quick, and then we can do closing thoughts here. I just want to show this. Shout out to Dawn and others in the Hive that put this together. I'm super excited about this. So we have the Hive Mind Roundtable coming up on Sunday, October 5th. So if you're interested in that one coming up here in a week, email me birdieBombshell00@gmail.com, subject roundtable. Tell me what you want to talk about. But then for the Halloween roundtable, if you want to be on it, you have to wear a costume. So we're going to do some sort of costume contest. We'll come up with exactly the guidelines and the rules for that, but that'll be on towards Halloween. However, Dawn and the Discord Hive, they're putting together the Hive's first annual best tinfoil hat contest. And each week there's going to be a different contest. So there's going to be a Discord thread. The deadlines for the photos are October 7th. You're going to vote on October 8th in the Discord, and then I will announce the winners of each week at the roundtable. So you could have won week 1, but you're not going to know until the Halloween roundtable, if that makes sense. So weeks 1, weeks 2, weeks 3, maybe we'll get to 4. And for all of the winners, you guys are going to get a prize. We'll keep that a surprise. I think you guys are going to like it. I have a cool idea to give everybody. And
you, by the way, are the definition of an idea man. You have a lot of ideas. You are an idea man.
Yeah, sometimes
I dig that about you.
Thank you. It's sometimes a blessing and a curse. You know what I mean? Like there's good ideas and then there's terrible ideas. It just depends on the context of what I'm thinking. Like
there's a fine line between a good idea and a terrible idea sometimes.
Dude, you know your story about how you were talking about you were following your buddy home drunk one night?
Yeah.
And
yes. Mm-hmm, yeah.
You could have driven off and you didn't.
Yeah.
I have a story that's somewhat similar, but you know how like when you're a senior in high school, I don't know if you guys did this, but you would go and like tag the bridge. Like you'd spray paint your class name on it.
Yeah.
So we had that. I'm literally shaking this can of spray paint up, like ready to write, dude. And all of a sudden, this giant shining light just beams on me. Okay. And at the it is almost unbelievable. At the same time that this light is shining on me, it starts to like look like it's raining. Well, one of my buddies that was supposed to be lookout was pissing off the bridge as the cop is approaching us. And what's funny is like it sounds weird, but like distracted by like what is this like rain, which is really just piss. I didn't like react. I didn't know what the light was or whatever it was. The cop was super cool about it because it's like a normal tradition there. They paint over it and stuff. But I never ran, and we ended up having to like go home, tell our parents, and show them the spray paint cans and stuff. But
hilarious. One of these nights, remind me to tell you about the story about me getting a flashlight shined on me in a park late at night. But that's all you need to do. Someday when you feel like a story, that's the time to do it.
Hive, do you guys want to hear it? Because I want to hear it. Type of one if you want a good old DA story to finish this one out. And I want no bar. I want the absolute truth, DA. I want to hear, like, have you ever heard like the Shane Gillis joke of like he's like in a parking garage holding a GameStop peg or no?
Yeah. Well, okay, so I'll tell this story. This is not well, okay, when you're old, everything's not terribly long ago, and it could have been freaking 20 years ago. Anyways, the point, everything feels like yesterday. But so a buddy and I, much like you, just this guy I hung out with, and we could talk for hours. And so for exercise, sometimes we would go for a walk on about a 4-mile walk along the river. That was a walking path, and it had multiple parks along the way that you walked through. So there would be like bike path in between 2 parks, and there'd be like 5-6 parks along this way that were kind of small little parks along this huge walking path that literally circles the entire Tri-City area in the Tri-Cities. Anyway, so we were walking on this path late at night, doing our typical thing, talking and having a deep philosophical question. And a spotlight from a police car lights us up like Christmas and just keeps shining us in the face. And we're like, what the hell? Like, can you pull the light off of us? And we're just walking. And this cop approaches us, and he's like, gentlemen, what are you doing in the park right now? And we're like, walking. And he's like, you realize the park closes at 10 o'clock, right? And it was like 11:30. Unbeknownst to me, the location we were walking past is a known gay hangout in the bathroom. Men would go and hook up in the bathroom, and he sees 2 guys walking the path, and he's lighting us up. Gentlemen, what are you doing out here tonight? Now, my buddy immediately makes the connection. He goes, what are you trying to imply? And the cop's like, what are you doing in the park this late at night? And he's like, walking the fucking path. And he's like, well, the park's closed. And my buddy says, because he knows the law, he says, can you walk the path at night? And he goes, well, if you have the cop says, if you have a legitimate reason to be on the path, and he goes, like walking the path? Well, yes, if you're walking, we're walking the path, sir. So is there a problem here? Well, I mean, and he just had him in a corner, and I'm thinking, oh my God, like, I can't believe he's busting his nuts. And he's like, you realize that if I have a legitimate reason to walk this path, I can be here.
Dude, see, oh man, we're not ending this stream, DA. That's hilarious. You got to have good buddies like that who know the law, and they can, kind of stick up for you. It works in that situation. Okay. It doesn't work. So were you guys hooking up or no?
No, sir. We were walking past the bathroom, which, by the way, in retrospect, I found out is actually a very common location for people to hook up. We just happened to literally be, and that's why he was there. The cop was scoping out the bathrooms as we walked by and lit us up. But again, my buddy was just pissed. Like, you realize we're allowed to walk the path at night. Well, what are you doing in here? Like, walking the path at night.
What would have taken that to like a different level of epic if he should have said, like, we should be asking you the same thing. What are you doing lurking around here without your flashlight on?
I do not have those kind of balls. I was right. This is the same thing that basically was happening with the guy that I told you the story about following him home, right? He's in the back of the cop car mouthing off to the cop. You're just a freaking punk cop with a badge. You're nothing. You just want to rough up and harass people. That's what my buddy's doing. Excuse me. Does the law not state that I could walk the path at night? Yes, it does. And I'm just like, dude, would you not piss off the cops? They have guns. We don't. So,
Have you ever tried to pull the whole, like, am I being arrested or am I being detained?
I've never done that. I've never had to do that yet. Yeah.
Would you?
I would in the right circumstances. I mean, I'm totally respectful of cops, and within reasons, I'll let some stuff happen. But yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you this as an aside tangent. I'll tell you this. If a police officer asks the question ever, Do you mind if I look in your car? Fuck no, you're not looking at my car. Get a warrant.
Would you say it like that?
Yeah. Do
Nice.
you mind if I come in your house? Fuck no. I would say this. This is how I would say it. I would say, no offense, but fuck no. Like, never would I voluntarily allow somebody to come in my house like that, get a warrant. And I don't care if I'm guilty or not. Now, you have some people who say that that's the words of a guilty person, which maybe they'll come back with a warrant. But what are they going to do? Get a warrant from a judge? Like, he said, fuck no, I can't come into his house. That's not a warrant. You can't get a warrant for that. So,
have we ever like looked into the history of sticking up for your rights is something innocent people don't do? Like, have we ever looked into like how did that become the norm? Like, I'd be curious, is there a giant government push behind that or some sort of law enforcement push? Kind of like no, innocent. Like, are they trained to say when someone says, "Do I need a lawyer for this?" and they go, "Not if you're innocent," because they've never framed people, right? It's exactly probably where it came from, not knowing what the training looked like decades ago.
I have to educate my wife and people around me about the wording that law enforcement uses. By the way, I've got a law enforcement friend in the office right now, in the room right now, so hopefully he'll back me up on this.
Right?
Yeah, officers will ask it as a question. Do you mind if I do this? Fuck no. I don't want you to do that. Like, I'm sorry, but I tell my wife all the time, I said, it's not a demand. It's not a demand. That's why they ask you, do you mind if I do this? Do you mind if I take a look? Do you mind if I do this? And the answer is, I do mind. So no. So I said, remind you, a lot of people have this idea that if you've been asked, you must comply. It's a request for a reason. Do you mind if I do that? Do you mind if I take a look? So, anyways.
Right. I mean, dude, I'm thinking about, there was a time
I'm getting busted by one. I'm getting busted by one.
Oh.
You don't need a warrant to search a car in certain circumstances. It depends.
So, dude, one. That is crazy. You just said that because it segues into the story I was literally about to tell. When I think I had told you, like in college, we, like on the football team, we couldn't go out to the bars at all because they would have the assistant coaches or like the graduate assistants be the bouncers. And we had like a 48 or 72-hour rule depending on our game. Like, we couldn't go out. So when you can't really drink, a lot of people like resorted to just smoking weed and hanging out. Well, there was one time where, and one, am I incriminating? I can't incriminate myself.
Oh yeah. He can't. He's not. You're not in his jurisdiction. Say whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, one. I can't. You can't detain me. And no, you can't search my
everywhere. So
car.
Yeah.
But no, we were like smoking a blunt in my car, and I had dropped off my buddy or my two buddies at our house, and I was going to McDonald's. And I'm like, so I go to McDonald's and I pull in, I turn right on red, which in a college town, like, I swear to God, this is the only time, and it's a block away from my house, I could throw a baseball and hit McDonald's. I was so pissed. I should, like, when I say, like, I literally could have thrown a baseball and hit this thing, but I literally didn't even get in my car. I dropped off. I'm like, I'm starving. I'm going to McDonald's. I turn right on red. Cherries and berries light me up. Dude, DA, I'm at the drive-thru window. Like, I'm at the order box with the cops lights behind me. I don't know if the person wasn't like looking. They're talking to me. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm stoned. Like, I'm kind of like, oh my God, I'm in the middle of the drive-thru. A cop's behind me. So I pull through, drive right by the first window. I see the guy lean out and like look at me, like, and pull into the driveway. He smells the weed. I don't have anything in my car, but he says, blah, 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 blah. I need you to step out. So now I'm sitting on this curb. Everybody in McDonald's is like eating their like McFlurries, like looking through the windows at me as I'm sitting there just in shame. Like, God damn it, this sucks. And he called the canine squad to come in to search it. And the dog, I'm sure that it probably did smell. I don't even know if the dog took an inhale though. And it just jumped up on the back of my back fender and like put its paws on there and like scratched it. And they're like, the dog hit on it.
Yeah. Wow.
So they're like, so I'm like, okay. So now I'm sitting there, and what's shitty is like, I'm like in between, like paying attention to what the cop's doing, because I know there's nothing in there. And I'm also looking at McDonald's as people are now like I'm just like, this is so uncomfortable. People are recording this. You know what I mean? And dude, when I tell you they searched my car so fucking aggressively.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm telling them, which one, I'm sure you hear this all the time. I'm like pleading with them, like, there is nothing in the car. They're like, well, what does it smell? I'm like, we smoked in it last night. You know, like I'm saying whatever. Like, dude, they took my subwoofer that I had in the back. I thought it was so cool. I had like a 24-inch whatever brand back then. They pulled the subwoofer out and looked in the woofer box. Wow. They just ripped apart my subwoofer.
Yeah. That's a gray area that I don't like in this country, is that they're allowed to some extent to destroy your property in the search of things and then go, okay, I guess you're right. You didn't have everything on you. Fix all your broken shit. You can't sue us. I mean, you could try, but that is a gray area I just really don't like, is the whole tossing somebody's house, destroying their shit and then going, well, I guess you're right. You didn't have anything.
Right. Well, and I mean, yes, I'm aware it's probable cause. It's for sure probable cause. I don't know why he would even need the dog. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't know if the dog hitting on it gives you different, whatever in certain jurisdictions, but yeah. So anyways, then dude, I'm like back in the drive-thru after it gets done after like 40 minutes. And I got a ticket for turning on red after all of that. That's all that I got a ticket for. So now what's hilarious is like my buddies have no idea what I've just been going through for the last hour as they're playing like Tony Hawk's Skate 2 on Xbox. It's like ripping bongs when I walk in. I'm like walking in all sad with my McDouble that my car is torn apart and I got a ticket. But anyways, nonetheless.
Yeah. And you know, and to not to side tangent, but how subjective is it for an officer, if they wanted to say, I think I smell weed and now I have probable cause, whether they smelled it or not? Like, how, are you going to argue in a court of law that he smelled or didn't smell something? Well, you didn't smell it because it wasn't there. No, I smelled weed. Maybe it wafted in from somewhere in the neighbor's yard, but I smelled weed. And so I have probable cause to search you.
I got the weed farts, bro. You know how that goes. Like,
yeah, people are going to stop watching our show because we don't even stay on freaking true crime anymore now.
I mean, dude, but here's the thing. Like I've always said, I'm not necessarily, I like to look into true crime cases, high profile cases. At the end of the day, there's going to be great streams where we have that, you know, to go into. And like I said, tomorrow night with the Idaho 4 and the timeline I'm going to. But this is good. This is good for the soul, for at least I feel like for you and me. Like I can, like I said, I wasn't joking. My eyes will bleed if I have to watch the Grub Truck footage again. My eyes will literally bleed if I have to stare into the abyss of the dumpster cam footage anymore. So
right.
Like I have to like rejuvenate my brain. And as a little bit of a teaser, I do think that the reason why the black boxes are covering the rooms, I don't think it's because of bodies. I think that cleanup meant something else. I know you alluded to drugs. People have said they thought that there had been a shakedown. I've listened to their reactions a bunch of times, and what was something that a lot of people had said? Firstly, they've said nothing like this ever happens in Moscow. These police are not equipped for this. Okay, well then you can't have that and have their reactions be unfazed. Just holy shit, right? Maybe, again, it's not disrespecting officers. Maybe they're trained for, maybe they've seen other stuff. Who knows where they were prior to moving to Moscow? I get that. I'm addressing all that right now. Yeah. I mean, dude, what if it's just like, and I'm not saying that this is my theory. What if it's just like a shit ton of blow all over the room? Like literally, like, what if it's just like literally like stacked to the roof of barrels of weed? I don't know. But I mean, like, what if it was literally a trap house? Right. Or a store, like, what better place to hide a bunch of weed where the cops are always coming over for only noise complaints and they don't have access to certain rooms or locked rooms? Who's to say? I don't know. I'm not claiming that. So anybody that's sitting there like, this guy's fucking stupid, I don't care. But I'm trying to think through stuff like what else would explain the black boxes? Because there's not. I don't even think that you could clean up that much blood in 8 hours. Am I arrogant for thinking that? The smell, the towels, where did they throw that stuff away? They would have found them in the trash. If they would have burned them, they would have found that. You know what I mean? That's 4 people stabbed to death. I just don't think you could clean it up. Yeah, I agree. The case is going to give me problems for a long, long time. And then Oh God, see, and shout out to Discord Dawn, because that comment that should I read it to you guys? I mean,
Yeah.
I could read it to you real quick if that'll help
Yeah.
with providing some perspective. I don't have it up on the screen, but I can just read it off my phone, and maybe this will.
Murphy lapped it all up. That dog be high as fuck. I already said that. That's a time traveling, warping Sasquatch dog, interdimensional.
No, he's just fucking zooted off of his ass, just getting everything. It's just no wonder he's running around all over the place. I don't know where he is. He's upstairs. No, he's across the street. He's just. So
you're pulling up something to read to us?
Yeah.
It's story time with Birdie.
So
read to us, Birdie, before going to bed.
Long. It's just a paragraph.
Woo! All right, go for it.
It's a paragraph. So she said, she was like, I just saw this comment on Facebook. Okay, keep an open mind. I'm not going to play my tinfoil hat song because I said I don't believe that this case is even a conspiracy anymore. I just think it's straight up either criminal or this is so purposeful. You know what I mean? That it's within the laws in a weird way.
Yeah.
So somebody had responded to somebody else, and their response was, yes, exactly. They are alive. One of the family members of JJB said all four testified against him in July of 2023. And when you further search their social security death index, that when a person dies, the recycled social security number shows they are all alive. Then you look at FBI criminal statistics that showed 0 murders in Moscow in Idaho of 2022. So then I looked and I found the video for the bird sanctuary tapes showing the house 24/7, 365 from October 31st, 2022 through to the demolition. No bodies left that house. The cops showed up, marshals showed up, started pointing around, and further video actually shows what I believe to be a gallon of fake blood sitting outside the front door the day before the cleaners went in, who are not a real company, who I believe may have staged and sprayed the fake blood around. Also, the G's lawyer, who, if you search Shannon Gray in Portland, Oregon, which is where the law office comes back to, it's a 7-Eleven store. It's not even a law office. Then you run his picture through Google goggles, and it says Agent Graysmith. And guess with who? The U.S. Marshals Witsec office.
Wow. Yeah.
I've never heard that last part. Which,
yeah.
You know what? Should we try that? Should we try that right now with him?
Sure. Why not? Why not? We're already freaking a half hour.
You want to get nuts? You want to get nuts, Dion? Let's get nuts.
Let's get fucking nuts. All right. I'm in it. I'm ready.
All right.
I should have spiked this drink a long time ago.
Are you spiking it now?
No. I gotta be up at the butt crack of dawn while you're looking for that thing, because I got a fractured tooth. I gotta go see the dentist in the morning.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it blows. I just went on to a completely personal thing right on screen.
That's okay. You're
I also have jock itch and a foot rash, so I mean, other than that. I'm just kidding.
You're not. You're not kidding, are you?
I am kidding. Never mind about the hand behind the table. Hold on. I'm good.
Your tooth hurts. Your balls itch.
This is not an appropriate show. I need to put up my logo that says, not kid friendly and shit.
Yeah. Well. All right. Here we go. Yeah. TMI. I agree.
I was kidding.
I don't think you are. All right.
Uh-oh. Jeannie had her difficult day. She needs a drink.
So, wait. Now, this is interesting. At the bottom, in response to multiple complaints we received under the U.S. Digital Millennium Copyright Act, we have removed 3 results from this page. If you wish, you may read the DMCA complaints that caused the removals at lumendatabase.org. What is that?
Wow. I don't know. A new OSINT tool.
Well, hang on. Let's see what this complaint says.
Careful, you click on the wrong thing and we're going to get a violation.
What do you mean?
I can't even say it.
Spell it.
I was just saying, you never know where a link's going to go.
Oh, that would suck. It goes to penisland.com.
Right. Petfriendly.com or something. I don't know.
All right. So, okay. The information on this page represents either a request to remove material from an online site, or it was a copyright counter notice asking the material already be removed or replaced. It's an independent database. Okay. Other information in the notice. Okay. So close this. Oh, of course, the kind of work is unspecified.
Yeah.
Admin tracks. So, wow.
You're on a rabbit hole. You're down a rabbit hole.
Well, it's interesting because at the same time, there's OnlyFans on here. Was Oh no!
Don't go there. I haven't been drinking. Don't even go there.
Well, you've taken walks on paths, right, DA?
Right. Gentlemen, what are you doing in the park this late at night?
Yeah. All right. Well, Hive, for those of you that stuck with us through that and
last thing before you go, you teased last week you had a big announcement. Did you make that announcement while I was gone?
No. Thank you for reminding everybody.
But people have been asking, by the way, you've been ignoring it apparently in the chat because several people have like, hey, Birdie, have you made your announcement yet? And I'm like, I don't think he has. So I thought I'd ask you.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because I'm just curious. I mean, not to bust your nuts, but you've been asked about it quite a bit. So. Oh, I want the anticipation. Anticipation. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me as well. Got to go get it. Got to go get the sanity check on whether it's okay. So I gotta, now I'm fighting the urge. When I went to broadcasting school, by the way, I went to broadcasting school when I was in my 18 to 20 year frame. And I remembered not to allow dead air. So since Birdie walked away, I had to make sure we didn't have dead air. What's up, Birdie?
Well, we are having a baby, Hive.
Yeah. I'm so happy. I was thinking that was what it was, but I'm like, I don't want to say, but people are asking me all night long in the chat. They're like, tell Birdie that he's got to make this announcement.
Oh, you can't hear what he's saying.
That's hilarious. Oh my God. Congratulations to both of you. Congratulations.
We're super excited.
Yep. So we'll have
That's amazing.
On the way.
We're
very, very happy. I'm glad you shared the moment.
Yep.
What did you say? It was a Gemini?
It's gonna be a Gemini.
So anyway,
I figured
I'm gonna go see if she's up. So thank you for coming in. Everyone's or DA. Yeah. I don't know. Were we frozen?
No, we were not frozen. So I'm so happy. In anticipation, because I figured that's where you're going. My wife and I are already working on sending you something. So I'm excited. I'm excited to send you a little gift. And now you're frozen. Now that I said that, now you're frozen.
Our internet went out. What'd you say?
I said my wife and I anticipated that's where this was going. So we're going to be sending you a gift pretty soon. So
thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're super excited. It's obviously our first baby. So
yeah,
like I said, life changing.
Yeah,
it is. You won't be able to be a YouTuber. Hang that shit up. And by the way, send your audience to me when you hang it up so I can triple my audience. That'd be great.
I will. Well, thank you, baby.
All right.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, man. Yeah, no, it's I'm not gonna lie to you. I felt a little bad when you texted me after the stream and you were like, "Oh no, did I just
ruin that?"
blurt it out?" But yeah, I'm very excited. Obviously, yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's weird to like wrap my head around it. Not that everybody needs to listen about just like what it's like to experience about to have a kid with your wife. It's just
and I'm glad that your wife stepped out of the room, by the way, because I just finished this up. I'm glad she stepped out of the room because I told somebody if he had said, "You're right, we're pregnant," I was going to counter with, "That's congratulations. Let's hope it's yours." But then I thought, no, I don't know Birdie enough. He might not find it funny. I'm certain his wife's not going to find it funny, but it would have been funny at the moment. And now I just did it anyways because I'm an asshole and she left the room. So don't tell your wife I said that. I hope she's fucking out of the. Now that I realize she can't hear because she doesn't have the headphones on, let's edit that shit out. She won't even hear it.
yeah, no, it's doing. That's hilarious because. Well, I'll tell you off stream. It's just it's fucking funny you said that because like I would never expect that. I would never expect that. Her and I were actually having this conversation of like, can you imagine how like earth shattering that would be? Like that, and it's happened to people.
Sure, for 100%.
I mean,
but yeah, I would never. I don't really mean it. It was meant to be a joke, and I thought, sometimes you have to really know somebody before you make that kind of joke. So
yeah.
I'm really happy for you. I'm so thankful that you did share it with us. Thank you, and that I've got to be here when you made the announcement. So that was awesome.
Yeah, no, it's great, and I figured too, like I wasn't gonna make it like a huge deal, but we just wanted to get a couple ultrasounds and. So
yeah, for sure. I know a lot of people want to double, triple check before they say something just to not jinx themselves. So
yeah, no. But dude, honestly, like the streams like this, I know that they're all over the place. For my own sanity, I have to do this because this is obviously a lot of fun. And there's streams where I'm like, okay, I know that this is going to be for like the masses. Where it's like, this is just information heavy. But then there's other times where I'm like, I like getting in here and I feel like people in the chat are like buddies with us. And, I have this idea of people based off of their usernames and how they talk. I feel like I know them. It's a little bit odd.
I know. I get it. And by the way, people have said in this they're serious. Put up a registry site so that people and put on your registry what kind of stuff you guys would want. I know you're going to get some gifts. Make sure you get a registry and you put that address out for people that want to be able to show their appreciation, maybe get something you guys need. So that would be great. And if I get the address, I'll put it up on my streams too.
Well, thank you. I didn't even think of that. I honestly, I didn't even know that they did that for babies. I thought it was just a wedding thing. Because even
they do it for they do it for babies too.
Dude, do you know what's so interesting too, just about like if you remember, I mean, I know you remember, but it's like it's weird when you go from like as a guy, I'm just speaking from my perspective, we were engaged, and when I say nothing like changes, that's take that, hang on, let me finish it because I have to say it. It's like the girls get to wear this pretty ring, they get to show it off, and it's like you don't really get to wear a ring or whatever until your wedding day. And I'm like, it takes like getting used to wearing a ring, and then it's like, oh wow, other people see this ring, and it's like now it's just weird. Like now we're gonna have a kid, and it's like really interesting how I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're going through huge changes. There's going to be a lot. And again, I don't envy the amount of work that you already put into your YouTube channel and having a baby. And which also means your poor wife is going to be stuck with a lot of extra duties as you're trying to do your thing here. So yeah, you got a lot of stressful times ahead. Don't get ahead of yourself too much though. That's way in the future. So
you know what's funny about that is I agree there's going to be a lot of work. I was blessed to have two parents that always, whenever like that type of stuff would come up, they're like, it shouldn't be that way though. You have to like remind yourself, this is the first time you're doing it, you're enjoying it, and this is some of the craziest, most fun things that happen in life. And while yes, it might be stressful, like I remember my mom saying, I look back at that and she's like, I'm glad that I would be present enough to remind myself when you guys are driving me crazy or there's toys all over or whatever it is. And now it's kind of become a little cliche to say, it's like, she's like, I knew one day I'm going to miss having those toys on the ground, or I'm going to miss, all that stuff. And so I even think like too, like Aubrey is very good with, like our wedding planning, she was on it, and now she's a day of coordinator, doing all that. And I don't even know what we're talking about, DA, but pretty much this. She did tell me that I'm getting a studio though. She's like, you can't stream if we're gonna be having a baby like in the house at the times that I am. But that's why I was telling you about that tent, that sound reducing tent.
Yeah.
I could get that. So now you're gonna walk into my house and you're gonna go into my recording room and it's gonna look like I have a Dexter set up, but it's really just a webcam and then a screen, and then you have a second thought of what does this guy do? And then you come to find out, no, he just gets on the internet and talks about conspiracies,
Right. God, it's great. It's great. I love it. It's very cool.
Well, anyways, dude, we're going on 2 hours here. Thanks for the time. Thanks for always popping up. I enjoy them. Thanks to everybody in the hive that stuck it out. I enjoy these. Like I was saying, tomorrow night, 7 Central, I got to close the poll, and the winner of what is going to be for the Daily Sting tomorrow, it looks like it was the Moscow beating.
Oh, the new, yeah, their newer kid that was put in the coma.
Yeah.
Medically induced coma. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm not stopping the stream, Hive. She just meant like if, what was an office is now a baby's room. Maybe there's going to be a crib back there on stream instead of like skateboards. I don't know if that would.
Or now you're going to have to actually do more YouTubing or whatever, more internet stuff, because you'll have to open an OnlyFans account to try and earn more money for the baby that's coming. So now you got to do that gig as well.
Well, see, that's where I'm going to pause.
I thought you were thinking about it. You're like, huh.
I was thinking about what I thought to myself, I could say this or I could not. And I'm just going to, and that's where I'm going to pause. And
sometimes it's best to do that. See, now you can understand.
Yeah, it's like I feel like there's tattoos that are recognizable. There's like I don't know,
Right.
Wow, is that a cherry blossom? I feel like I've seen that a handful of times.
Just make sure we don't see your Latin King tattoo, because I mean, there's that, and we don't want to show that on camera. Yeah,
that's right. Represent.
Anyways, we got some inside. We already have inside jokes. You need to shut the stream down. We just passed 2 hours. We need to shut the stream down.
Okay. All right. Take care, everybody. Cheers. I will have the Daily Sting up tomorrow morning, 8:30, and then 7 p.m. Central in the hive. D, are you live tomorrow or not?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
All right, hive. Have a good night. Cheers.
Yep. Thanks.